FICFA starts tomorrow. It goes for the next 9 days. That is the Festival International du Cinéma Francophone en Acadie. And we're going to talk to Marc Gauthier in just a second. But first, we have ourselves a bit of a trailer, a bit of a tease. This film is called C'est la vie.
Je vous le redis là une bonne fois pour toutes, on est dans un château du XVIIe siècle. Donc on est forcément limité en puissance électrique. À l'époque, ils n'avaient pas prévu les ponts de lumière et des sonos de 4000 watts. Bon, donc on ne tire pas tous ensemble sur les lignes. On se coordonne, on échange, hein, on partage. Ouais. Bon, et puis pour finir, j'aimerais bien qu'on évite les tensions.
Mais t'es bouché ou quoi? T'es dans le passage, tu vois bien que tu gênes.
Qu'on garde son calme.
Mais toi, tu vas me recadrer, mais vas-y, viens, mais je t'attends.
Ça ne va pas d'être vulgaire.
Eh, casse pas les couilles, toi.
Votre comportement, votre politesse, c'est la vitrine de la réception.
Non, non, je veux personne dans le champ. Regarde, il y a une vieille dans le champ.
La vieille, c'est ma mère, hein. Je vous ai dit que je voulais un truc sobre, chic et élégant.
Oui, mais c'est complètement l'esprit.
Ce soir, c'est une soirée agréable qui nous attend, une soirée chic, sobre et agréable. Ah, qu'il vous voulez.
Attendez, il me fait peur, lui, là. Hein.
Je veux voir toutes les mains en l'air, tout le monde les bras en l'air. Allez, vas-y.
Je peux vous faire apparaître un truc énorme. Alors, c'est pas un oiseau, mais c'est de la famille des volatiles. Attention, 3, 2, 1... Un poulet.
On a un client important qui nous a fait confiance pour qu'on lui organise un mariage clé en main.
Je dois vous préciser quand même que je suis pas un grand orateur.
Eh ben ferme ta gueule alors, ça sera plus simple.
Donc je compte sur vous pour que ce soir, particulièrement, on fasse une belle soirée.
Excuse-moi, tu peux prendre le plateau, là, faut que j'aille en cuisine.
Comment?
Ah, pardon.
Samy, t'es sûr de toi, là, pour les feux d'artifice? Qu'est-ce que je vous ai dit? J'ai dit on se coordonne. Y a personne qui comprend que je joue ma vie, moi. À chaque soirée, je joue ma vie.
Quel moment magnifique.
Les gars, là, ce soir, qui n'est pas déclaré?
C'est la vie. That is just a taste of what's to come for the next 8 days, 9 days. I remember I said I was going to learn to count someday. But this is Marc Gauthier, the director of FICFA 31st edition.
Indeed.
31st edition. How do you know what? Do you remember any of these from much before, and what's the difference from them to now?
Well, I've been around since the 17th edition, but of course then I wasn't running the show at all. I was you know, basically just running around. I was a Morlock behind the scenes. Yeah, things have changed quite a bit. You know, over the years. Like 5 years ago, you know, all the 35mm prints that we used to use for projection, you know, those were all thrown out. Digital moved in, and it has its good and bad sides depending on what kind of film buff you are. But on the good side, it has allowed us to get a lot more English subtitled copies for programming, which you know is much to the benefit of a lot of the cinephiles in town. So we're really glad to have that.
And for those of you who don't quite remember, kids, but before everything was on digital, we used to have reels, and used to have the 35mm, which is what he's talking about, which was on the reels, and then you'd have to sync it up. And if you didn't quite sync it up, then it would be weird.
In the world of 2012.
That's a dangerous world back then.
Yeah.
Still dangerous today. But FICFA. So FICFA starting tomorrow, 8 o'clock at the Capitol Theatre. Nos Hommes dans l'Ouest is what's leading it off. And then from there, it's just 9 straight days of great films. What can you highlight for us? What's the biggest thing you're expecting? What's the biggest thing you're excited for?
Well, one huge feature will be in 1999, which is directed by a local director who's been out of town for 14 years now, Samara Grace Chadwick. It is a film co-produced by the NFB, and it's a doozy. It tackles a really heavy subject, which was the string of suicides that took place in Metz-sur-Martin High School in 1999. However, it approaches the subject in a totally unexpected way. It's actually, quite, there's there's hopeful optimism. There's a lot of recorded material from these kids when they were in high school. A lot of reminiscing on the good times. I mean, it's a really powerful film, but you end up smiling a lot more than you thought you would be while watching it. It's a fantastic film.
So someone who is maybe well versed in film festivals, there's a lot of avant-garde. There's a lot of artistic touches to a lot of what's played there. So is this kind of like the TIFF? Is this kind of like Cannes, or is it a little bit different? We
like to strike a good balance, and we like to say we're here primarily for our audience. We're not exactly here just to have mainly avant-garde cinema. We're not here just to have mainly stuff that's based on having the most celebrities featured in films or whatnot. We basically have a good balance between the art house stuff, the stuff that attracts a wider audience, and films that films of all genres. Basically, as we try to cover the francophone world as much as possible. That is our main mandate, but the good films can come in all shapes and sizes, so we're a bit all over the place in that sense.
And yeah, we mentioned francophone. Of the the grand majority of these movies will be in French, but English subtitles will be on some of the films provided. So is this a new thing, or is this something that's kind of come out in the last few years?
It's something I'd say for at least over a decade that we've worked on, and as I mentioned before, during the era, the world of pre-2012. Print copies were just harder to come by, whereas now we have the DCP format, which is now used in the commercial theater. When you have that, oftentimes when a copy is created, there's a subtitle option that you can just add on. So if that is done, if that work has been done somewhere down the line, then we have access to subtitles, which it at least tripled our capacity for having English subtitled films. So the focus, the idea was always there, but now the capacity is enhanced, if you will.
And imagine writing it on every 35 millimeter frame that you come through. It's kind of like writing a book on a grain of rice.
Yeah.
But thankfully we don't have to do that anymore. But in speaking of the TIFF and Cannes, there are a few movies that are here that have gotten attention from those festivals. Maybe we can highlight a couple of those.
Well, definitely. From TIFF back in September, we have the film that was chosen as Best Canadian Feature, and it turns out it's a zombie film. But it's not just a good genre movie, it's a good film, basically. And it's Les Affamés by Robin Aubert. That one is subtitled in English, and that will be playing next Thursday, the 23rd, at Jacqueline Bouchard Auditorium at the Université de Moncton. People who are familiar with the Far Out East cinema program know that that's the same screening room, so you can show up there. So
yeah. And not only that, there will be Luc Picard's going to make an appearance in Cross My Heart, which we're seeing now on screen, or will be in just a second. He'll be here too. So is there this kind of collaboration between directors and making appearances here at this festival, or is this kind of a one-off thing?
Oh yeah, the invitations are all sent out, but sometimes people are on screening schedules. They have conflicts, so sometimes they can't make it, sometimes they can. We're really glad to have Luc Picard here. I mean, most people know him primarily for his acting work, but he's a very good director, and this latest feature really showcases his talent. He really has a good touch for basically touching on Quebec history, but touching on basically this group of young kids. You totally believe it. You're totally immersed in it. You're in their universe in 1971. And it's just a really good film, and it's a great film to close the festival. You leave with a smile. So.
And that is next Friday. It is a 9-day film festival, as we said, starts tomorrow at 8 p.m. at Capitol Theatre. And Capitol Theatre is just one of many venues. We have about a minute left, but can you just highlight where some of these showings are going to be?
Most of these films are playing in Cinema 6 and 7 over at Cineplex Dieppe. So that's where most of our features and short films are presented. But on top of that, we also do have a media arts component to the festival. So media arts installations and galleries at the university, also at Aberdeen Cultural Centre, various concerts and other peripheral screenings, and conferences, and just Everything that you would expect in a film festival, we do have that.
It's all over. So where can people get tickets?
They can have get tickets online is the easiest way. They can also go to Spin It Video in town. They can also grab tickets at the ticket booth at the university, or as soon as the festival starts at any of our screening locations.
All right, so be sure to check it out. FiCFA is going to be awesome. Starts tomorrow, and we're very excited. So Marc Gauthier, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
As the director, so be sure to go check it out and get your tickets as you can.